Early this morning at one of the controversial new aid sites in Gaza's far south. Video provided by the US-Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which all week has been pushing back against reports of chaos. Today, it may have been short of that, but it was hardly ordered. It does, though, speak to the continuing desperation of Gaza's people. Just look at the joy of this woman. No matter the long walk ahead, back out of an Israeli military zone.
The catastrophic situation in Gaza, it is the worst since the war began. Humanitarian needs have exploded in Gaza following the 80 days of the nearly total blockade of aid going into the Gaza Strip.
What so many in Gaza desperately want, of course, is an end to the war, even a pause in it. And today Hamas has at last given its response to this week's US ceasefire proposal, agreeing to some of its elements, a 60-day truce, the release of 10 living and 18 dead Israeli hostages, but less clear on the issue that had stymied previous ceasefire plans, whether and when the war would be permanently ended. In its statement, Hamas said this proposal aims to achieve a permanent ceasefire, a comprehensive withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, and ensure the flow of aid to our people and our families in the Gaza Strip. Last night, President Trump was bullish that Hamas would accept.
They want to get out of that mess. They're in a big mess. I think they want to get out of it.
There are reports in Israel that Hamas wants to revise the timeline for the release of the hostages. The Reuters news agency says a Hamas official said they were responding positively to the US proposal, but were seeking some amendments. In the past, Israel has treated such counteroffers as rejections, similar language being used tonight in a briefing to Israeli reporters. Meanwhile, the desperation in Gaza compounds. 77 aid trucks belonging to the World Food Programme blocked and looted before they could get to their destinations. WFP workers appealing from their car for people to take just one sack of flour each.
Harry Fawcett there. Well, I'm joined now by the British-Israeli analyst Daniel Levy, who's president of the US Middle East Project, and he served as a peace negotiator during the premierships of both Yitzhak Rabin and Ehud Barak. Daniel Levy, thanks very much for coming in. Is this just another mood in the chess game or something genuinely of significance?
Given the scenes of desperation, starvation, the horrors being inflicted on the Palestinians in Gaza, one would love to believe this is a real shift. Unfortunately, right now, Netanyahu is working assiduously so that the Trump administration and those in the West and elsewhere who've been leaning rhetorically into doing more see this as enough for them to back down. The families of those being held in Gaza, protesting in Israel right now, are convinced that Netanyahu doesn't want a deal. I think they're right. He prefers to be able to blame the other side, because what Hamas are saying is, yes, as long as this is part of a permanent ceasefire, full withdrawal.
And that's a no-go for Netanyahu, right?
Netanyahu has made it very clear. Even after you release the hostages, we will continue.
Annihilation.
We'll continue with what I think is ethnic cleansing and genocide.
But would the US necessarily fall in the line in the way you indicated there? They've gone over the heads of Israel before now to speak directly to Hamas.
That's one of the interesting dynamics in play here, Alex. They have. One of the things that's happened these last weeks is that American envoys, and it should be obvious, of course you speak to Hamas. It should be obvious for the UK as well, but they have spoken to the Hamas leadership. Someone called Bashar al-Baba has been going back and forth. It seems that what he proposed to Hamas and what the envoy we've all been hearing about, Witkoff, closed with the Israelis were different. Hamas has basically stuck to the original agreement. There have been differences between the Trump administration and Netanyahu on the Iran talks, on removing sanctions on Syria, on visiting the region without going to Israel.
So could they run out of patience?
So far, on the Palestinian front, we're not seeing that. Could they? Yes, there's tension between Israel first and America first. It will probably require other countries to also take more of a lead to close that gap between the words we're hearing in the UK and elsewhere and the actions that are taken.
OK, Hamas, by no means annihilated. They still exist. They're still there, but hugely weakened. That's got to be a factor in negotiations, hasn't it?
With the following really important caveats, Alex. First of all, Hamas's long-held position has been, we will hand over governance in Gaza. That should be enough. Hamas's position, no resistance movement is going to say we will disarm while occupation continues. And most importantly, if the Israeli commitment is whether you give the hostages back or not, we are going to continue to force you into tinier areas, forcibly remove you, and destroy Gaza, then no one will wave the white flag in those circumstances because their own people are going to continue to be genocided.
And very briefly, this is because we're often told that critics say Netanyahu faces a straight nihilist proposition. It's either war, or for him, it could be prison because of corruption charges. That's another reason why he's in power and held in power by the far right.
There's that. There's his personal consideration, and there's the ideology. His coalition is committed to what they see as the permanent removal of the Palestinians. If impunity reigns, that will happen, because what Netanyahu does every time, puts his finger in the air. Can I still get away with it? Is it just going to be words from the UK and elsewhere, or will there be action? Are the media going to insist on coming in and filming this? That's what he tests every time. If the results come back, impunity is all right, boss, we will see the continuation.
Right. Daniel Levy, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Alex.